You might not like what I have to say, but here it goes. Time to speak me mind. You know, I've had this feeling for a long time, but as I get older, I feel like because of my responsibilities as an adult now, I feel as if I'm just drifting apart from things I used to enjoy. Gaming especially. But it's not just about growing up in a traditional sense, it's also about what we're growing up in. And what we're growing up in right now is I don't mean to sound like Mr. King Positivity over here, but the world right now isn't exactly a very nice place at the mo. Especially when you take into consideration the ones in power, the ones in charge, making life more difficult and not easier. I mean, I don't know if you stumbled across any of these shorts, TikTok, YouTube, wherever, you know, just scrolling through your phone on your leisure, of young adults just crying their eyes out because of everything just costing so damn much. And these videos go viral for a reason, because we're all feeling the fucking squeeze. And me heart just goes out to them like. But what about people who use gaming to escape the clutches of how harsh life can be? And that's a good question. I'll get more onto that later throughout the video, but in a short answer, stress. Too stressed to play, maybe drinking the stress away. Hell, I've definitely been there, man. And yeah, I know, look at me go over here, Mr. Optimus of the century. But I'm a realist, and it is what it is. And what it is that we're living in a crazy clown world, lad. And we're all in it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know, I'm going towards the we live in a society fucking meme. You know, let's just get that out the way, okay? Anyway, you see, the problem with being poor is that it takes up all your time. And the problem with being rich is that you take up everyone else's. And not to go off the deep end, gaming is still the topic at hand here. But considering that the price of things have gone up to a ridiculous level, and you need to bring home the bread because you've got bills to pay and people to look after, leaves you very little time for things like Skyrim. Do you know what I mean? Even the new releases have gone up in price, and most, not all of them, but most of them are dog shit. So me personally, there's just no motivation for me to spare a minute and a few quid just to sit down and play something mediocre and unfinished. Most of them are like that these days. So it makes me really ask, why would I bother? I just can't be arsed. These fucking games now are not worth my time. Especially when these pissy developers have a hissy fit. If you dare have any grievances with what you bought, there's just no respect. And why is it my fault that you suck? Oh, and don't worry, I'll get round to that later. Anyway, even if the games were good, my time is just taken up by the world around me. Family problems, jobs, relationships, broken hearts tend to do that. Which leaves one question. Oh man, if I have all this depression and all this worry just bouncing up and down, pinballing inside me head, ping, 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 pong, ding, just won't stop. How can I just take a break from it? How can I just get some escapism? Because I'm just sick and tired of being an adult. I just want to have fun. I want to feel like a little kid again. Fuck everyone else. I've worked hard. I deserve it. Ever felt like that? I know I have. No fucking cap. We've all felt it. So where I'm getting at is one of the biggest ways to seek escapism is going back to the past. Nostalgia, so to speak. Because when you get burnt out from being an adult in current day, you just want to kick back and look back. Even if you have quote unquote grown out of gaming or quote unquote grown up, you always come back in some way or another. Like I remember during the Christmas holidays like last year, I decided to, just dust off the old Xbox 360 and reminisce for a little while. And this was after spending time with family and mates. It was a good time, lad. I loved that type of escapism. But after all was said and done, it was time for some alone time, just a teeny break from people for a while. So because I had a bit of time to myself, and I wanted to chill, cause Christmas tree, why not? I went for it. So I cracked open a bottle of rum and kicked back and played some games I used to play when I was younger. And this was me thought process / reaction at the time. It was like, oh man, this takes me back. wow, what a blast from the past. Just having a good time, just buzzing, you know. Completely disconnected from the outside world and just locked in. I never felt that immersed in a long time. It was like I was tripping. That and scoffing down the rum helped. And it's not just nostalgia too. I forgot how good some of these games were. GTA 4, Halo 3, just to name a few. I was mainly playing those two games at the time, but you get what I mean. Now the point of this grand tale of mine is this. Even if you think you've outgrown something, you just end up coming back to it sometimes. And I felt like that with games I haven't even touched in years. I suppose it's sort of a right time and place sort of thing. You know what I mean? But there's more to what I'm saying as well. I so get why people go back and play these games. It's not because they're stuck on the past or adult babies that don't touch any grass. I mean, God forbid, right? Too much of something's too much of something. Moderation, lad. But apart from that, to me, that's just a surface level, closed-minded take. Far more deeper and complex than that. They're not just nostalgic for the game itself, they're also nostalgic for when the world seemed normal, and these games were made during a time where the world felt normal and not fucking clown world, because like 10 to 12 years ago was a completely different world, and you weren't too young not to remember, and we took that time for granted. Even the games that came out back then and everything else. Now fast forward to now, a lot of time has passed since then, and the world has changed so much, and during that time life has probably chewed you up and spat you out, so you start appreciating and even missing what's basically come and gone. In a phrase, you never know what you've got until it's gone. So to summarize this whole thing in a nice tight bundle, me personally, I just can't be arsed. In a word, if it ain't worth my money or time, then why would I bother? And I don't think the gaming industry now is giving people a lot of motivation to stay loyal or stick around any longer, because you can clearly see a pattern of trust being torn in two. And that is a lot more common than I like to admit. And if you got a busy and chaotic life, why would you bother? Do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter if I paid an arm and a leg for this dog shit. They're still calling me a racist. If I complain about it, like, can you believe the nerve of that? That doesn't exactly motivate me to scream, shut up and take me money. Do you know what I mean? More like just shut up and lose more money. Oh, what a great deal to get scammed and insulted because they suck at making games. Like, you really think I'm gonna care about what weasel language or worm speech they have at the ready for responses like mine? Lad, I can just take it or leave it. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. You know what I mean? And oh my god, the greed now is fucking vile. And the attitude they have towards their own paying customers is just as vile. Like, have you seen the discourse around the new Assassin's Creed game? Like, oh my god. I mean, they've solved all the world's problems with this one. A gay black man in ancient Japan. Really? And he's a samurai? I mean, if we're gonna go that fucking far, why don't we just shove Logan Paul in the game and call it a day? I mean, it speaks for itself, doesn't it? And this might come across as such a boomer take, like, back in my day, we had this, we had fucking that. But you got to admit, there's a reason why people call games like, I don't know, GTA San Andreas a timeless classic. The key word being timeless. Me personally, I think it's because it has a bit of grit and edge towards it. They were hungrier back then, and there was talent and passion behind it. And it wasn't soft, squeaky clean, safe, a broken mess, greedy crap. Disrespectful, insulting. And if you take that into consideration, it just makes the whole thing seem boring. If you ask me, I'd rather just focus on something else. And maybe that's probably what it means to grow out of something.